What's up? Tonight we are going over the bulletproof dispute letter training, and I have some awesome stuff for you. So, if you still have negative items, I don't care what they are, if they're collections, foreclosures, repossessions, bankruptcies, judgments, late payments, inquiries, if they're on your credit report, I am going to help you remove them right now. So, because we are live, I'm going to just go fix a couple of my settings real quick, and then I'm going to share my screen. And when I share my screen, we're going to go over this bulletproof dispute letter training together so that you can basically quiz yourself on your factual dispute knowledge. And then I also have a bulletproof dispute training AJERO Formula book that we're going to go over together as well. So I am fixing my settings right now, but what I need for you to do is smash that like because you are about to learn a bunch of things. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. Why do you want to subscribe? And smash the bell for notifications. Well, it's going to tell you when I am live. All right. If you do not get notified, well, that is what you got to do. All right. So make sure you do that for me. And it's not even for me, it's for you. Now, because we are live, I have turned off my comments, but and we are almost there, I promise. See, that is the thing about going live. You have a couple of things to fix as soon as you actually go live, all right? So while I'm doing that, I will also let you know that we have created a new series, the live Q&A for credit sweeps. So if you have specific questions that you have about anything having to do with learning how to factually dispute and actually remove your negative items, then now is the time for you to head over to any of my other videos and let me know in the comment section. All right, so I think we are there. But what I'm going to do right now is I am going to share my screen, and we're going to go over this because I'm going to show you how to write the perfect dispute letter. But first, we need to test your knowledge. And when I say test your knowledge, you're actually going to learn about factual disputing through quizzing, okay? If you have taken any of my dispute IQ quizzes, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because it literally teaches you how to dispute. So let me just go and share my screen already, all right? So I'm going to add this to the stream. We're going to go over here. And let me just say, if you want to access this, let me go throw the link up for you real quick. If you want to access this, you can actually go over here to linkshort.com/bulletproof training. linkshort.com/bulletproof training. The link is down in the description. So if you want to pull this up, you get immediate access to it. But otherwise, we can do this right here together. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. I'm going to take this link off of here. I'm going to put this one back up because if you want to see if I can do a credit sweep for you, you can just head over to my740.com, schedule a call with me, and I'll see if I can help. But this has 40 pages to it, okay? And we're not going to go over 40 pages because 36 of those pages are actually this how to write the perfect dispute letter book, all right? Okay, so here's some bulletproof dispute letter training. And if you do not know the answers to these, then you better learn right now, okay? So what is the maximum number of accounts per dispute letter? It's actually 10, okay? You should not have any more than 10. So if you have, let's just say, I don't know, 30 disputes that you need to go out to one bureau, you need to have 3 different letters per that one bureau. Okay, so it sounds like a lot, but the ability to send out these extra letters at different times of the weeks to the same bureau is going to increase your ability to get results, okay? Let's go to number 2. What is the correct order from easiest to remove to most difficult? And because I don't have the key up here with me, we're just going to do this together. So from easiest to remove to difficult would be medical collections, and then judgments and tax liens, utility bills and other third-party collections, inquiries, then late payments over 2 years old, then late payments then late payments less than 2 years old, then debt buyer collections, then charge-offs, then foreclosures and repossessions, then student loans, and then bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is going to be your most difficult to remove. And I don't care if it was dismissed, I don't care if it was discharged, it is your most difficult to remove, okay? Number 3, you should never dispute online because you give up your rights under Section 623 and Section 611. These rights are important because they include your ability to sue for a violation, receive results of an investigation, and the right to fight reinserted derogatory information and failure to investigate. You also make it easier for the bureaus to automate the investigation because you submit a dispute directly to their system. Is this true or is this false? The answer to this is true. You should never, ever, 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 ever dispute online, okay? Number 4, which of these should be included in a dispute letter to the bureaus? Personal information like your name, address, date of birth, and social. Date of the letter, and you don't want to backdate. That's not a real tactic, and it will not work, and I don't care what you can tell me about that. You can't prove it. Recipient, such as Experian with their address, and 2 to 3 sentences that explain why you are writing the letter, what outcome you seek, what expectations you have from the letter, and each disputed account, such as creditor name, account number, dispute reason, and the facts. The answer to that is all of them, all right? You should not miss any single one of these. And in the comment section, Sam asked, should we be sending out our identification with every single letter? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, Sam. Every single letter needs to have your ID and your proof of address. You don't need to send out proof of social unless you are actually disputing, the way that they have your social. So if your social, the last 4 of your social are 1234, and they're putting 0034, then yes, you need to send a copy of your social security card or a W-2, something with your actual social on it. Number 5, complete this dispute reason. Stop reporting this account because you blank it and yet did not change the date last blank on my credit report. This means no blank occurred and this account was never verified. So we have investigation, verified, and reported. So stop reporting this account because you verified it and yet did not change the date last reported on my credit report. This means that no investigation occurred and this account was never verified. So why is that? Well, you have to understand what each element of the account actually mean, right? So when you hear me tell you that we need to know why something is reporting the way that it is, how it should actually be reported, and what an inaccuracy is, and what a violation is, this is what I'm talking about, okay? So the date last reported stipulates when they verified that account. They're actually supposed to verify and then update the date last reported, right? Or status update date, or whatever that element is on your credit report. If they don't update it and yet they say, hey, it's verified, that obviously means they didn't investigate, right? So that is a reason to dispute, right? Okay, so now we have a couple of more. So choose the recommended account elements to dispute a charge-off for removal and outside of blatant inaccuracies. Okay, so we have date last active, date last paid, first day of delinquency, notice of dispute, existence of it within 30 days from the date of first receipt of letter, activity after the close date, such as charge-off in the payment history after the account was closed, or late payments after charge-off. Date last reported, status update, date last reported, late payment history, high balance is lower than the balance, and the answer to this is all of them. All of those reasons are available to dispute a charge-off for removal outside the statute of limitations. Okay, which of these are not recommended to dispute a charge-off for removal unless blatantly inaccurate? So, and let me just retract what I said, a charge-off for removal outside of blatant inaccuracy. So my bad. Okay, which of these are not recommended? Balance, limit, terms, status, high balance, type, and open date. It's going to be all of these unless the high balance is lower than the balance, or again, you have blatant inaccuracy, such as 2 or 3 different balances, right? All right, so let's go to the next one. Choose the recommended reasons to dispute a late payment for correction outside of blatant inaccuracies. Inconsistent reporting between 2 to 3 credit bureaus, remove these late payments between date and date because experience shows 30 or 60 or 90 on dates, but Equifax shows 30 or 60 or 90 on dates, and TransUnion shows 30 or 60 or 90 on dates. And oldest late payment dispute, I was not late on date, remove for inaccuracy. So here, again, we are choosing the recommended reasons to dispute a late payment for correction and outside of blatant inaccuracies. Now, you can actually use both, but it is recommended to use A prior to using B. And to dispute late payments to remove an account, you want to find the oldest late payment and dispute it as inaccurate. Now, you can do this. Remember, this is outside of blatant inaccuracies. So the further you go back, the harder it is to verify. They have to go further back through their records. And remember, this is like way older. They were using paper, and now where everything is digital, so they had to move everything over, which means that it may have gotten caught in the system or fell through the cracks or something, right? So the older it is, the harder it is to verify. All right, keep going. To remove bankruptcy, you should find inaccuracies in the following: court name, it should only report as U.S. Bankruptcy Court, city, state. Filing date and docket number. That, my friend, is true. To remove an inquiry, you should send a no permissible purpose dispute letter to the credit bureaus and dispute directly with the data furnisher using a proof of authorization dispute. This is true. To remove a third-party collection, you should send the validation of debt letter series, it's 4 letters, directly to the collection agency and dispute with the credit bureaus using the unknown series. This is only one relevant per my video series. This is true. All right, how do I remove all my third-party collections using that method? To remove a debt buyer collection, check off the dispute reasons that would give you the highest chance of removal, such as the biggest guns, right? The biggest impact. Late payments on a collection account by, it's late by default, right? Past due on a collection account is past due by default. Date last active and the payment history. So it's all 4 of these. Who is a debt buyer? That's going to be like Portfolio Recovery, Midland, second round, whatever it is, second round, Calvary. Those are all debt buyers. NCA, I can't think of any of the other ones off the top of my head, but those are all debt buyers. They are not third-party collectors that were assigned the debt. For those, we're using that validation of debt method that I just went over. So place these in the correct order for the dispute hierarchy. 1 is most impactful, 11 is the least. And again, I don't have the key with me, so we're just doing this right now. Okay, so we have first day delinquency, high balance lower than the balance, past due, date less reported, status update date, activity after close date, after the account was charged off, open date, balance, date less active, notice of dispute, limit, and date less paid. So number 1 is going to be date less active. Number 2 is going to be date less paid. Number 3 is notice of dispute. Number 4 is activity after close date, after the account was charged off. Next, date less reported, status update date. Next is first day delinquency. Next is high balance, lower than the balance. Then past due. Then the last resort ones, open date, balance, and limit. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Okay, so for the dispute process, this is where you're going to learn how to write disputes like a pro using the AJERO formula. So you're going to go through this checklist before sending out your dispute letter, right? And this is why I created this little book right here, where it's going to allow you to, just print this out, right? You're going to print it out. And you're going to be able to fill this out for every single account that you are disputing, okay? And you want to make sure for every single time you send out a letter that you go through the checklist, okay? So the letter includes no more than 2 paragraphs before your disputed accounts. The letter includes no more than 10 accounts write an additional letter to include extra accounts. Disputed accounts include no more than one dispute reason. Letter is void of pursuant to section blah, 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 like section 609, and other law-related items unless you are attacking a violation, like failure to enter the required notice of dispute pursuant to section 623, or failure to notify you of a reinserted account pursuant to section 611. So those are examples of when you can do that, okay? The letter includes your name, your date of birth, your address, and your social, okay? You're also going to include copies of ID, proof of address, and optionally proof of your social security number. Now, this is where you're going to go and answer those questions, right? So I'm writing this dispute letter because, all right, you literally want to write this out like sentence by sentence, all right? And we're going to put it together on a piece of paper or on Word or Notepad. What's the reason for your dispute? What do you want the bureaus to do? Why do you want them to do it? Did they perform their duties correctly on the previous round? If that's relevant, obviously not on round one. And what is the outcome that you are requesting? Okay. So for each disputed account, write a dispute reason using the AJERO formula. So we have action, justifier, element, reason, and outcome. All right. So here we have an example of this. Action, this account type for inaccuracy, justifier, the element is reason and outcome. And you can actually take outcome out and put facts in there, but this is an example of this. So delete this charge off for inaccuracy because the date last active reports differently on each bureau. And then you're going to go and you're going to put in the facts. Experian reports 1115, Equifax 2215, TransUnion 3315. B, remove this late payment for inaccuracy because I was not late on 3/3/16 and update to paid on time, never late. So now you're going to take your account and you're going to break it down. I want for you to do this for every single account, every single time you send out a letter until you start to actually see these results coming in. If you're a company and you are switching over from using templates, which are absolutely worthless, that the bureaus get 1.5 million disputes per month per bureau, this is actually something that is really, really, really going to increase your ability to get results, and you're going to have happier clients, okay? Action is going to be like delete, update, remove, correct. So that's where you're going to choose one. Justifier is going to be because. So you can literally just write the word because. Element. So what are you disputing on the account? The date last active, the date last paid, the balance, the past due, etc. And now the reason. So you're going to include facts taken directly from the credit report here. Experian reports blah, blah, blah. Equifax reports blah, blah, blah. TransUnion reports blah, blah, blah. You can word that however you want to. But the main point here is that we're using the information from the report and we're putting it on here. Outcome. Update to paid on time, never late. Change the status to new status. Whatever it is, this is where you're going to put it, okay? And then now, you're going to put it all together. So you're going to create your full dispute reason using the AJERO formula from the previous question. I want you to write it out, okay? All right, so for each disputed account, write a dispute reason using the AJERO formula. Action, justifier, element, reason, outcome. We are back at the beginning of this. So as you can see, it does take a little bit of time to do this, but when you are a beginner, and you don't know how to use the credit suite method, when you are not seeing results because you've been disputing online, you've been doing phone disputes, you've been sending out templates, whatever you've been doing, even if it is the illegal identity theft method, this is going to show you how to write the perfect dispute letter, and you will be able to increase your results, okay? So I am going to go back. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And okay, so let's go and remove this. Again, if you want to see if I can do this for you, head over to my740.com. If you want to get access to what we just went over, you can use the link that you see on your screen to get this, which is how to write the perfect dispute letter. It's really, really simple. Click on the link. I think it's like 39 or something. You get media access to it and whatever. But if you don't want to do that, when this becomes a replay. You can go back and you can pause it and take your time to go through this. Okay. This is very, 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 very important. I took my time to create this for you because it's exactly what I use for every single client, every single time, every single round. And dude, 2021, 23,000 deletions, 2020, 20,000 deletions. So do I know what I'm talking about? Yes, there's no quick way to get results. There's no overnight process. There's all of those people out there that tell you that there's any other way than using the facts they're doing nothing other than trying to get you to, I don't know, click some buttons, use their software, like whatever. I mean, do I have products? Yes, I have products, but I also have 800 videos that I've invested the last 8 years of my life to teach you how to do this the right way, right? So if you are trying to switch over from using templates to a factual process, you want to make sure that you break down everything and you take your time to learn this because, and if you were here with me in the beginning, the longer you dispute, the harder it is to get these things off. So you have to take your time to learn how to do this the right way. Now, if you did something illegal, right? Like using the illegal identity theft method where you're like, hey, I'm a victim of fraud. I'm a victim of fraud. Oops, sorry. And you want to move over to factual based disputes. Number one, you need to keep in mind it might be harder for you because first you lie and you say, hey, I'm a victim of fraud. And then you're like, oh, no, I'm not a victim of fraud, but I do need to remove these accounts right here. So can you help me out? They're not going to want to help you out. Okay. So this is another reason why this is so important to use the information that the bureaus, the creditors, and the collectors report themselves, because you're not just coming out with, pulling crap out of a hat and trying to determine, the right thing, right? No, this is the right thing. It's called factual based disputes for a reason. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're not going to reference the fact that you said that you use, fraud as a reason. You're not going to say that. You're very simply going to pretend like it never happened. You're going to write a letter that says, Capital One account number 517805. This account needs to be removed because the date last active report does blah, blah, blah. Or there's a violation because they didn't enter the required notice of dispute. So every single time that you send out a letter that you previously had done something wrong, don't remind them of it. Okay. Remember, everything goes into a database, massive databases with all of the letters that these 1.5 million consumers send in every single month to every single bureau, right? Or to all three bureaus, I should say. So it's not like it disappears, and it's not like there's, a table of people that are just sitting around. No, it goes into a computer, gets scanned in, and it gets stored for God knows how long. So don't remind them of the mistakes that you've previously made. Okay. All right. I think that might be it, but I'm going to take this link off the screen. I will show this one again. And I think we're done for tonight. So if you want to write the perfect dispute letter, if you want to learn how to do factual disputes, if you want to learn how to do a credit sweep instead of credit repair, then I have the resources for you. Okay. Now, one thing that has come up a lot this week is what the heck is the difference between credit repair and a credit sweep? Well, that's very, very simple. Credit repair, my friend, is a one-size-fits-all, shot in the dark, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't type of deal where there's nothing strategic, there's nothing that is targeted. It's like I said, a shot in the dark, right? Versus a credit sweep. And again, credit sweep is not the illegal identity theft method. A credit sweep using the AJERO formula, the, custom targeted factual disputes is like literally, dude, you're using the information right from the credit report. Like how can they refute that information? They can't. It just takes a little bit of time to prove that you're not going to go away and that you're going to stand there banging on that door, right? So credit repair is normally what these other companies do, right? I'm not going to name any names, but let's just say 97% of these companies out there use regular credit repair, right? And this is another reason why they don't show you anything. You pay for it, but you don't see it. You're basically just buying words and these fake updates. That is what regular credit repair is. Okay. So Anyways, if you want to access this, I already had the link up. If you want to see if I can do an actual credit sweep for you where you get the copies of the disputes where all your negative items are done, all 3 bureaus, and you're not wondering why you gave up your consumer rights to see what you're paying for, use that link on your screen. I will see you later. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, that it is successful. And when I am done with this stream, I will post it as an archived video as well, so you can, go see the replay, right? So have a great one, and that's it. Bye.